The theme of our conference is Mood Matters. And if you didn't already know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So we'll be talking about different things you can do for your work culture that can help enhance the mood, okay? Because mood is related to our mental health, how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about our environment. That all makes a difference in how we show up for work. So we'll be giving you some great tips and strategies to re-engineer your work culture to help uplift your mood. First up, we have Cara Bradley. If you get a Mindful magazine, you might be familiar with Cara. Cara is the producer of Mental Fitness Boot Camp. She's the author of On the Verge, Wake Up Show, Wake Up and Shine. She's the host of the mental fitness podcast called Daily Whispers. Cara is a great person. I've had the opportunity to talk to her, and she has lots of energy, and she is very much compassionate about what she's doing as far as mindful movement goes. So I want to stop sharing and bring Cara to the platform.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Rhonda. I'm so excited to be here this morning, everybody. I'm coming to you from the coast of Maine. I'm recently located up here, and just have a real connection with Michigan. My daughter's a grad student at UMichigan. My in-laws met at UMichigan, so I was really, really thrilled to be able to ask to work with you all today. Firstly, what I want to start this whole thing off with is I really want you to put your hand on your heart, if you will, or just think about putting your hand on your heart and offer yourself some compassion today. Make this a no shame day, a no shame zone. I've been in the wellness world my entire career, and if there's one thing that I see over and over and over again, and I've certainly been there myself, is it's so easy to shame ourselves and to think about what we're not doing. And so I ask you all to think about today as a day one, as a reset, as an ability to take in some new information to apply to your life for your health, your well-being, your mental health, so that you can share that with your family and with your colleagues. And so, because we're going to do a lot here today. I have a lot of information, a lot of movement. We're going to do some practices together. And I really want you to just allow your body to absorb it and to move forward from here. Okay, so if we could all make that pledge to ourselves and to each other, to not feel shame about what we've done or not done in the past, and to really just press that big reset button. So we're going to start with some movement. So if you feel more comfortable turning off your video, that's fine. You don't have to. I'd love for you to stand up if you could. If not, don't worry. We are going to, I'm not even going to explain what we're going to do. We're going to do it, and then we'll talk about it after. And it's just for a few minutes. So if you're standing, separate your feet hip width. If you're sitting, you can also do the same. Separate your feet. Just feel your feet beneath you. Our feet are the lowest area of our body. So what I'd like to do for me when I'm feeling like I'm in overthinking mode, or I'm stressed, or I just can't feel grounded, I bring my attention to my feet. So just feel your feet right now. And we're just going to move and breathe in rhythm for a few minutes. Here we go. Inhale, reach your arms forward and up. So nice and slow. Spin your palms open. Exhale, reach your arms out and down. Inhale, forward and up. And you could even close your eyes for this. I like that. Exhale, out and down. One more time. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, out and down. Nice. Moving on now. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, we're going to sway over to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale left. Inhale center. Exhale right. Notice if you want to rush this. Inhale center. Exhale left. One more round. Inhale center. Exhale right. Inhale center. Exhale left. Inhale, come back to center. Interlock your fingers behind your head. So just make a little nest for your head and then rest your head there for a moment. Now on your next inhale, drop your head back and look up. And on your exhale, you're going to round your spine, maybe even tapping elbows to your knees. Inhale, come up. So back bend and forward bend here. Exhale down. So just do what you can. Inhale, open, up and open, lay back. Exhale down. And now just one more time. Inhale, open, up and open. Exhale down. Come back to center. We've got one more movement here with your hands behind your head. Just start to twist. Let your elbows lead the way, twisting from your waist. And then you can twist from your neck. And then twist from your eyes even. Look out the corners of your eyes. You can do this as fast as or as slow as you want. And we'll take it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release everything and just place your hands on your thighs. And if you're standing, you can sit and pause. Pause and just notice. Notice. The first thing you may notice is your heart beating. Maybe your heart is elevated a little bit. Notice that beating, the throbbing, the pulsing of your heart. And then notice any tingling or body sensations. Maybe you feel a little heat somewhere or some coolness. Maybe you feel your heart beating somewhere else in your body. And now notice your breath. Just notice what it feels like to breathe in and to exhale. Just notice your breath for a few rounds. Nothing to do. And now you can open your eyes if they've been closed. And if you feel a change in your body and mind, drop a 1 in the comments. And as you're doing that, you can also turn your screen back on. Love to see your beautiful faces. And if you could be more descriptive in the shift that you feel, go ahead and put an adjective in the comments. Lots of ones. It's fantastic. There's any relaxed, alert, excellent, fluid, relaxed, grounded, calmer, relaxed, released, peaceful, calm, aware of body, aware, present. Oh, great. Calm, grounded, energized, present. I love it. Aware. Beautiful, everybody. Beautiful. Let me explain to you what we just did in just a few moments. We did something called coherent breathing or resonant breathing. And resonant breathing is just a way to regulate your nervous system. It's been shown through research that by breathing in and out in a balanced way between 5 to 6 seconds per breath, per inhale and per exhale, we can shift from anxiety or a fight or flight activation to a more rested, more coherent, more balanced state, just in a few minutes. So coherent breathing, inhaling and exhaling 5 to 6 seconds. We did that. Then we also moved our spine in 6 directions. So this is something I call the spinal 6. And if you go on YouTube, you can find, I've got a bunch of different little spinal 6 practices on YouTube. You can do it by yourself. You can do it with your colleagues, after a meeting, before a meeting, with your kids. The spinal 6 is a way of moving your spine in 6 directions. So we did this. We went backward, forward. We went side to side, and we went twist, twist. So it's that simple. Backward, forward, side, side, twist, twist. And we synchronized that with our breath, which helped our body to really come into a more regulated, easy, more relaxed, clear, you all said it, present, calm, aware state. The other thing that we did is that we stimulated our brain. So Dr. Roger Sperry was a neurophysicist physiologist, in the 70s, I believe, late 70s. He was a Nobel Peace Prize laureate. And he said that 90% of the stimulation and nourishment to our brain comes from movement of our spine. This was such a big aha for me when I learned about this quote years ago. It was like, oh my gosh, it's that simple. Our body impacts our mental state. And so here I am a body-mind teacher. And I don't call myself a mind-body teacher. Mind-body is the regular way of talking about this out there in the world. But I like to flip that for a specific reason. And that's because the connection between our body and our brain is real. We know this. What most people don't realize, however, is that 70% of the information goes upstream, goes from body to mind, not from mind to body. So our physical state, our biology drives our psychology. I love that saying. Think about this. Our physical state, our body state, drives how we feel mentally all the time. So we can make little switches, little shifts all day long to help our body impact our mind. And so just thinking about that quote, 90% of the stimulation to our brain and the nutrition to our brain comes from just moving backward, forward, side, side, twist, twist. So if there's anything you take from this talk that we have together, grab that, whether that be with your family, with your students, with your colleagues, in the morning, in the evening. We can move our spine all day long in fun ways and easy ways. You don't have to do the spinal 6, but if you remember, backward, forward, side, side, twist, twist. So moving on, what I want to talk to you about today, and we're going to do a bunch of other really simple mini movement breaks. I call them mini movement breaks. In the world of the blue zones, if you're familiar with the blue zones, it was a book by Dan Buettner, and it's about these 6 areas in the world that have the most centenarians. And they put all kinds of contraptions on them and did a bunch of research on what these folks were doing to get to 100. And they found that most of them walked 5 to 6 miles per day. Now, they weren't putting on their Fitbits and their Lululemon pants and thinking about their 10,000 steps. They just found a way to incorporate movement into their daily lives. And this is what I want to really encourage you to do. One of my missions out there in the world and the work that I do is to help normalize movement for folks, just to find ways to move all day long. And we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about some of the research behind how movement and exercise helps us to be smarter, helps us to be more focused, and also helps us to be happier, which is really a part of what we're doing here today in Mood Matters. So let's do another short movement exercise, and you can stay seated for this. We're going to do something called calf push-ups. Calf push-ups are so simple. We can do them in a meeting. We can do them during Zoom calls. We can do them just at our desk all day long, actually. I'm not going to do them right now because if I do them, I'm going to make you dizzy. But what you're going to do is just lift your heels and lower. Lift your heels and lower. And my friends, you're going to do this for about 3 minutes. I've got a timer on. So go ahead and start doing that. If you want, if you can, take your shoes off. You know, if you feel like your shoes are stiff. And just by lifting your heels and lowering, you're helping blood flow. You're helping your heart move blood flow through your body. So you're going to do that as I talk. Okay, so go ahead. Hope you're starting. So what I want to talk about here is really helping you today, right? Press reset, no more shame. Really helping you to change your relationship, if you need to, with movement and exercise. I've been in the fitness industry my entire career. I started as a strength coach and an aerobics teacher back in the 80s in my college dorm room. I have taught everything from strength training, yoga, meditation, mindfulness, performance training, lots of different things in the fitness world. And I can say and I also owned a yoga studio for 16 years. And I tell you that because I really believe that the fitness industry has done us as much harm as it has done us good. And the harm is that it has hijacked movement from our vocabulary. And so many people that I work with out there, that I talk to out there, think that movement equals Peloton, Lululemon, all of these brands that, you know, we see all day long, that movement equals 10,000 steps or not going to the gym or not, you know, getting on the treadmill. That's not true. Movement is our birthright. We're born to move. Movement brings us joy. Movement makes us happy. And so today, starting now, let's change our relationship with how we think about movement. And we're going to talk about 3 ways that we move and how to make movement more mindful. Are you guys still lifting your heels? Yeah, okay, good. Just go ahead. Let's see. You've got about another minute. So go ahead and just keep doing that. And maybe lift them a little higher or press into your big toe or play around with it. You can even lift and roll your ankle. Right? Our bodies just want to move. So, and there's also some new science around lifting your heels like this after a meal that helps with insulin resistance. So I can't speak exactly to that because I'm just learning about it, but there is some stuff. So maybe you can Google that. Let me know. So research shows when we sit less and we move more, we live longer. It's really that simple. Sit less, move more, live longer. But the movement doesn't have to be what we've been programmed it to be. It can be training, but it doesn't always have to be training. And so that's what I want to speak to you about. There are 3 ways. I just did a course for Mindful Magazine. Rhonda was talking about my work with them. And it's all about this, changing your relationship. And I talked about moving in 3 different ways. The way that we can be more mindful in our movement is to know why we're moving and to be very intentional about moving. Okay, you guys can stop. Let's pause for a moment. So pause and just notice. Notice, I would love to hear from you all because I'm just playing with these calf push-ups myself. What did you feel? Did you feel anything? Is there any change? Maybe you can share if you feel anything. I'd love to hear. We'd love to hear. You were more focused. Yeah, feel tingling. Nice. Awake. Awesome. Optimistic that I can incorporate this into my long sitting work days. Absolutely. Yes, a little warmth. Excellent, Kristen. Good to move. There's that was movement. That was movement. My calves are tired. Yeah, ankles have become loosened up. Excellent. A little more energized. Just moving our bodies will help to boost blood flow, which then helps to improve our brain energy, our mental focus. Also, when we focus down at our feet, it moves some of the attention away from our brain. We are not a brain on a stick, my friends. Most of us go through the workday and we live above the neck. Remember, 70% of the information between body and mind goes upstream. So there's a lot that we can do in our physiology to change our psychology. And that was just one of that. Excellent. You're going to use it daily. And you can incorporate this into a Zoom meeting. You can incorporate it into meetings, just even meetings one-on-one with people. You can say, how about we take 2 minutes all time and let's just lift our heels as we talk. Just give it a go. All right. So getting back to training, we move to train, we move to play, and we move to live. When you go through your day, I want to encourage you to start to incorporate and integrate movement throughout the day. And so you may move to train every day or a few days a week. This is how we often think about exercise, right? I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to take the walk. I'm going to get my 10,000 steps in, which, by the way, is just a metric. If you don't get 10,000 steps in, but you were in the garden for 2 hours, don't feel bad about yourself. You got good movement in there. It's just a metric for us to use. But moving to train can be very specific. So this morning before this, I knew I wanted to move because I wanted to have energy and brain energy for you all. So I went to my gym here. I live in an apartment complex. I went to the gym for 30 minutes. And I did a 30-minute body weight and dumbbell weight workout. And that was it. I was very intentional. I'm going to move for 30 minutes. I'm going to move to get stronger, to move my muscles, and to also be more flexible. So this is where movement can become mindful. When you go and do your next workout, be very intentional with yourself. What am I trying to do today? Why am I doing this? Am I training to be more flexible? Maybe taking a yoga class? Am I training to be more mobile, to get my joints moving? So I just had a hip replacement 6 months ago. So a lot of my training is to keep the muscles around my hips and low back mobile. Am I training to build muscle? Am I training to build cardiovascular strength? So I want to get my heart rate up. So I think when we can be more intentional, we then actually will work harder and smarter in those workouts. Okay, so that's move to train. Then there's move to play. And I think that our culture and us adults, we don't move to play enough. We just don't. And so I would love to hear from you in the comments. How do you move to play? And I'll give you some suggestions. Moving to play could be, getting down on the ground, on the grass, now that it's so warm, with your dog, right? Playing, giving your dog a good 10 minutes to play. In fact, I'll tell you, honestly, I'm looking at my window here and I look out onto the dog park in this apartment complex. I don't have a dog. And oftentimes there's a couple of people in there with their dog. I got to be honest with you. Most of the time, it makes me sad. I see the folks on their phone and the dog is just sitting there. I want to say, throw the ball, get on the floor. This is movement. This is how we can move to play. So we can walk with your huskies. Yeah, swim, walk, playing with my kids. Absolutely, with your grandkids. Gardening. Tonight, I took up a new sport since I got my hip replacement, is pickleball. And I'm so excited. Like, it is real play. I'm never going to be super good, but it doesn't matter because I'm moving to play, playing. So we've got grandchildren, biking. Yes. Kite flying. I love that. Let me see what else I've missed here. Playing hide and seek with my cats. Lots of, trips up and down the stairs and excellent. I love this. And I would love for you to think about this throughout the day. How can I move to play? And then when you do that, make sure that there is that intention. So sometimes that walk doesn't have to be so serious. We don't have to move to get the 10,000 steps. How about just walking through the woods and just enjoying, the sound of the birds and the trees? That's moving to play. And then the third is moving to live. And the moving to live is just our daily lifestyle. It's how we move through our work day. So if you're in a school, you're probably walking quite a bit. It's parking away, a furthest spot away from the store or your school. It's taking the stairs when you can. It's sweeping the floor, getting down on your knees and getting in the corners with the dust brush, making the beds and cleaning the mirrors and the tub. It's cooking and the yard work and all of that stuff. We're moving constantly. So movement isn't just what you do at the gym. And I think if we look at those blue zones and those centenarians, I think I'm saying that right, we will see that they move to live probably more than anything. They're probably not moving to train as much as they're playing and they're moving to live. So these are some things that you can just start to change your relationship with how you think about movement. So I hope that this is helpful for you. Again, if we sit less and we move more, we will live longer. And so what I want to talk about now is really normalizing movement in your life. And our culture has absolutely put the brain on the pedestal, and we stigmatize the body, right? We've got to flip that switch. I think you could probably all agree, seeing our young children as well, and the obesity crisis and the mental health crisis. So many of us we're just not moving enough. And so when we move more, we can be smarter, we can be more focused, and we can also be happier. So let me just pause here for a moment. We're going to do another mini break. So this time we're going to walk in place. So if you will, you don't have to stand, but you can stand. If you want to stand, you can turn off your video. I'm not going to do this too long. I'm just going to do it for a little bit because, again, I don't want to make you dizzy. Okay, timer set. We're going to do this for 2 minutes. Just lifting your knees. Okay, so how do we normalize movement? It starts with not being ashamed. It starts with remembering that the fitness industry has hijacked movement and exercise and the joy of movement from our lives. And I say that because like I said, I ran a fitness business for 16 years. And people would say to me, Cara, why don't we do one of those 30-day challenges where we come and we do 30 days of yoga? And I said, I don't want to do that because I don't want you here for 30 days. Go for a walk, go outside, do something different. Don't be so obsessive about one type of movement. Be more playful. find more ways to move in your daily life. So the Blue Zones call it exercise snacks. This is what we're doing right now. I call it mini movement breaks, but we want to start to think about how to incorporate that into our daily lives, especially at work. So you've probably heard sitting is the new smoking, right? Every 20 to 30 minutes, we should get up. We really should. I like to use a timer on my phone. I use something called a Focus Keeper. It's a free app, and it's based on the Pomodoro method. If you know the Pomodoro method, it's oh gosh, I forget his name. It's an Italian researcher that shows that we can really focus for about 25 minutes, and then we need to break. So the Focus Keeper will do a 25-minute on and then a 5-minute break. And I think it's a great thing. And I've often recommended this during meetings as well. So let's see. Okay, you can stop. You can have a seat. And just notice your body for a moment. And if you feel any difference, you can share it in the comments. Maybe just notice your breath change, your heart rate, your heart beating. Maybe you notice tingling, blood flowing. Yeah, heart is pumping. That blood flow is so important. The blood flow, the movement of our spine, it stimulates our brain. I feel like I've done as much already today. I'm great. Loving it. Awesome. I'm loving this too. Excellent. So I got to remember where I was. We were talking about mini movement breaks. So 20 to 30 minutes. Here's the thing, my friends, is that, people may roll their eyes at first because we have put our brains on the pedestal in our culture, and we have dismissed or stigmatized our body, and we have all this shame around our body and around movement. We've got to change it. And so have the courage to be the one to say to a friend, a colleague, a coworker, hey, how about we take that meeting and let's just walk the halls for a couple of minutes, then we can sit. Or let's end our meeting outside, with a walk if you can. I mean, I understand that it's not always possible. Or maybe you're the ones to say during the Zoom, listen, we've been sitting for about 20 minutes. Let's just take 3 minutes just to stand up and move our spine. You could do the same thing that I just did. Turn off your video for a minute. And you know what? Let's just swing our arms just to get some stimulation up to our brain. Until we do this, until we start and incorporate it into our daily lives and with our students and with our coworkers and our families, things will never change. And so we need to normalize movement, because there's let me just read you this study. I want to bring a little science into this as well. Just downloaded the app. Good. So it's called Focus Keeper, and it's free. I've been using it for years, and I use it as much for my focus as my ability to just stay on task as I do for the movement. And so that during that 5-minute break, you can just get up, get a glass of water, do the spinal six, roll your arms around, put a song on and dance. I love music. Music is it. Music is everything. Okay, so I want to bring in a little research in here. If you are interested in how exercise changes your brain in a lot of the research, if you haven't looked at this book, Spark, by Dr. John Rady, I think is the way he pronounces his last name. It's excellent. The Revolutionary New Science of Exercise and the Brain. And he talks about how movement, exercise, makes us smarter, more focused, and happier. So let's talk a little bit about what he has found and some of the research that I have found as well. How does exercise make us smarter? The California Department of Education has consistently shown that students with the highest fitness scores also have the highest test scores. Now, what Dr. Rady has done is he really dissects the Naperville, Illinois school system experiment, if you will. And so if you, and that's just down the block from you guys, if you research that or look up Spark, you will find some of the studies that have been done with students and movement and learning. Okay, so how does exercise help us to focus better? In a review of studies published in the Journal of Current Opinion in Psychiatry, they found that exercise increases the production of neurotransmitters. So these neurochemicals, such as dopamine, dopamine is used for motivation. It's used for feel good. It gives us pep in our step. It gives us that get up and go. And norepinephrine, which is the neurotransmitter we need, signaling in our body brain for attention and focus. And so what exercise does, and of course, these studies will show you how much, what they were doing, but exercise optimizes alertness, increases blood flow and oxygen to the brain, which can help improve cognitive functioning, executive functioning skills, working memory, cognitive flexibility, and inhibitory control. So this is how exercise helps us learn better. It helps us process information and log information better. And it helps us focus better. So I just want to see some of these comments. Rhonda, yes, excellent read. Read it a couple of years ago. Excellent. Oh, fantastic. My niece and nephew graduated from Naperville. Isn't that fantastic? I love that. Neurotransmitters are necessary. Yes. And, you know, I do a lot of work as well. And my personal curiosity, and as well as professional, is in the gut-brain connection. So our gut microbiome is producing 90% of our serotonin, 70% of our dopamine, 70% of our norepinephrine, and 70% of our GABA. So the gut microbiome, here comes that body-mind thing again. Our gut microbiome is making all these neurotransmitters. The signaling between the gut and the brain happens between our immune system and our nervous system. And so our gut is really the root of our mental health, of our mood, of our ability to focus, of our ability to process information. So again, it's 70% is going upstream, the gut feeling, absolutely. All right. So one more thing on the on some of the research, and then we're going to take another movement break before we take some questions. Where is my third one? I'm just looking at my papers here. I missed a paper. Hold on one sec. Education. Oh, there it is. Sorry about that. So University of Southern Australia, and you may have seen this study. It came out recently talking about how physical activity is 1.5 times more effective at reducing mild to moderate symptoms of depression, psychological stress, and anxiety. It's 1.5 times more effective than medication or cognitive behavioral therapy. Exercise, our bodies, normalizing movement in our culture, finding ways to incorporate and integrate movement into your workday with your coworkers, with your students, with yourself, moving every 20 minutes, getting up and doing some kind of spinal movement to stimulate the brain. This is, we have to do this. We absolutely, if we carry around the shame that the fitness industry has fed us for way too long. And honestly, it's like 30 years, right? 30, 40 years. It's not even, most of our lifetimes, but the fitness industry, of which I've been a part of, has come on fast and furious to put a lot of shame on us. And I say it's time that it stops. One more thing about exercise and happiness is that shorter, high intensity exercise programs produce the greatest effects. So that doesn't mean it's the only way you move, but if you want to shift mood, then high intensity, and it doesn't have to be that long, can really help. And the way that I love explaining high intensity is through intervals. I live with my phone apps when I exercise. And there's another bunch of free apps out there. I don't remember my app because I turned my phone off because I didn't want it to disturb us. But if you just look up interval apps, you'll get a bunch for free. Interval apps are fantastic when you are intending to move to train, or if you need a mood boost. So doing something for faster, more vigorously for 30 or 40 seconds, and then breaking and recovering for 20, 30, 40 seconds. That's all it is. Fast, high intensity, more vigorous, rest. Again, fast, high intensity, rest. Even if you did just 5 minutes of that, it would boost serotonin, feel good neurotransmitter. It would boost blood flow, giving your brain more ability, more energy to function. So, you can even try it if you're a teacher, you try it with your kids. They love it. Put on a fun song. Do something fast, and kids love to run really, really fast, or you can do it. I just love to dance. So I'm a funk girl and product of the 80s. And so I put on my funk and I put on my timer. And whenever this morning when I was at the gym, did the same thing. High intensity for 40 minutes, 40 seconds, and then off for 20 to 30 seconds. And I just did that back and forth for a half an hour. We've got Rhonda's putting in some good study in here. I just want to read it. Yes, the new study is absolutely medical news today. Yeah, I was just on their site this morning and prepping for this. Absolutely. Thank you, Rhonda, for that. All right, we've got one more movement exercise, and then I'm going to close this up, and we will have, maybe Rhonda could tell us, I think we'll have about 15 minutes. I would love to hear from you as well, because I learn from you all as much as anything. So we're going to do one more spinal six, okay, just so that you have it in your body. And then we're going to, now you know why we did what we did. And then we're going to open it up for some discussion. So if you want, again, you can turn off your video. Maybe stand up this time if you didn't stand up the last time. Separate your feet wider than hip width. You can lift your heels up a couple of times. Those calf push-ups, get the blood flowing. And here we go. Inhale, arms forward and up. Exhale, arms out and down. Inhale up. So we're taking a little faster this time, not quite the coherent breath. Exhale out. Coherent breathing's 5 to 6 seconds. Inhale up, but just balanced breathing again helps regulate. Exhale down. Okay, moving on. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sway right. Inhale up. You could be more fluid. Exhale left. I'm going to drop an arm. Inhale up. Exhale right. Inhale up. Exhale left. One more time, up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, good. So that was side side. Inhale up, hands behind your head. Now, next inhale, drop back. Exhale forward. So see if you can forward bend a little more this time. Inhale, up, 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 and back. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. 2 more. Exhale. Last one, up. Exhale. Come back to center. Now we've got twist, twist. This time we're going to keep our arms by our side. And since you're standing, start to swing your arms. You can lift a heel. I'm going to do it not so big so I don't make you dizzy. I know I tend to get dizzy watching people move. Swing your arms like helicopter blades. You can even look over your shoulder. 90% of the stimulation to your brain comes from moving your spine, Dr. Roger Sperry. All right, come back to center. Have a seat. Close your eyes. Bring your attention into your body and notice the sensations. Your body is always speaking to you through the language of sensation. You may feel your heart throbbing, pulsing, beating. Maybe somewhere else in your body you feel your pulse. Notice any tingling or heat or coolness. Notice where you may still be tense, holding some contraction, or maybe what has released. Notice your breath. Movement is our birthright. We're born to move. Movement doesn't need to look any specific way. We move to train. Yes, that's important. Mobility, strength, endurance, flexibility. It's all important, but it's not the only way. Most of our movement should be integrated throughout our day. Moving to play, finding new ways to play, and moving to live, just everyday movement in our day-to-day lives at work. A walking lunch, a walking meeting, a walking phone call, taking breaks during meetings, giving each other the permission to move without feeling funny or self-conscious, recognizing it's part of our mental health. It's part of how we learn. It helps us to focus. It helps us to be happier. And so you can incorporate movement and integrate movement all day long. And at the end of the day, you may have moved for those 5 to 6 miles, or you may have moved for 90 minutes. And if you've got some buddies at work, maybe buddies that are on this call right now, you can commit to each other to start to play and make things up. It doesn't need to look like a magazine. So you can open your eyes, maybe come back on screen. Love to see your faces. We have some time, a few minutes. Do we have a few minutes, Rhonda? Yes, to talk about this. I would love to hear from you. You can put your hand up or put a comment and we can unmute you. And I'd love to hear either your experience, any ahas that you had, any takeaways, and then any questions that you may have. Yes, hit classes, Mackenzie. Fantastic. We were designed to move. Excellent. So don't be shy. I feel rejuvenated. I feel energized as well. With the calf raises, what can you do for cramping? I would say go slower and build up. Start small. So maybe go slower. right? So that your muscles, they may not be used to doing this. I mean, who does calf push-ups? So I always like to say, start small or slow, stay steady, do it often, and you will build from there. Yeah. Okay. Oh, let me put my glasses on here. Thinking about how to add this to my lessons plan. Excellent. Yeah, small daily routines pack a big punch. Absolutely. Remember those blue zones people that are living 100 plus, they're not, going to, Soul Cycle or to, the yoga class. They're not. They're finding ways to incorporate movement throughout their day. And we can do that. We just have to get over the stigma of what movement is. Remember, we're not respecting our bodies enough in our culture. And so it starts with us and normalizing it. Appreciate hearing about our relationship. Yes, good. I'm so glad with working out. Not everything has to be hours and hours. No way. Excited to incorporate this into our academic boot camps. Excellent. Like the calf raises, many of our classrooms do not want to physically get up at the high school level, right? I know that. I mean, these and our young people, they're so much happier. You see the brightness in their faces when they do get to move. So how can we just normalize it without it being like weird, right? We think it's weird still. And man, it is my mission to normalize movement in our culture. They're so self-conscious. Yeah. I definitely need to move during the week and get away from the computer, right? So that 20 minutes, 25 minutes, if you've got a timer, it's amazing when you start doing that Pomodoro timer, how much you realize, whoa, I am just sitting way too long. How do I expect my brain to focus, right? If 90% of the stimulation to my brain comes from moving my spine, how can I expect my brain to be productive if I'm just sitting in this static position for 2 hours? So that's where we need to have friends, right? Have friends at work that get this as well. Love to do the Pomodoro method and use it for work tasks. Yeah, exactly. Shanine, yeah, bring it into the movement as well. Those 5-minute breaks are great for movement. Yeah, fantastic. Great questions, anybody. Anyone else? Oh, good. I'm so glad that you feel energized. I will tell you that, and if there are any PE teachers here, I don't know if there are, I've been teaching movement my whole career, and I will tell you that one of the reasons and one of my missions and the reasons why I'm so passionate about helping to normalize movement and actually give our bodies the respect out there that they deserve is just because I've been called the yoga lady, the fitness lady. I mean, I have been honestly dismissed out there in the world because I'm a movement teacher. And I just share that with you because it's just the truth. Conferences and being around maybe a lot of academics at a big conference, it's like, oh, she's the one that gets on stage and moves us, and I've heard it and I felt it. And, at one point in my life, I might have gotten, my feathers ruffled or my blood boiled. But now I just realized, my gosh, this is the way we've been conditioned. So it's going to take a village. It's going to take teachers and school administrators and all of you in the schools modeling for our students and for each other about how movement is essential, right? When we sit less and we move more, we live longer, and we're also happier and better citizens in the world. So I thank you so much for this. Let me just see what other questions we have. And then Rhonda, you can come back on when we need to know.
Absolutely. It's a question in the chat. Do you have a recommendation for a good source for more exercise snacks?
Oh, I love that. So let me review what we did. So we did the spinal 6, right? And the spinal 6 is just moving your spine. And you don't have to follow what I did. But it's anything standing still, or moving your legs and moving your spine. Quick walks, obviously, are fantastic. I like squats as well. Easy squats to do. Even when you're talking to somebody, you can do it together. 1 minute of deep squats gets the blood flowing as well. Those calf raises are super. When you're sitting in your chair, just cat-cows. If you know that from yoga, it's rounding your spine, opening your spine is so easy to do. And then it's just taking the long way home. Take the long way. Also, housework. Like, look at your housework as an opportunity to move your body. There was a great study done with hotel room cleaners when they were told how much that they were actually getting a lot of exercise during their workday. The group that was told that lost weight, felt happier, moved more, because they realized this is movement. I'm getting my exercise in. And so that is, changing our mindset around it, I think, is really helpful. And you will find more ways to do some movement, some exercise snacks. Excellent.
Thank you. So are there more questions in there I'm missing? This is great. This was great. I loved every minute of it, Carolyn. I could listen to you all day. You drove down my lane in so many ways. My colloquialism, because we are very much alike. I have a long background of exercise. That's how I started my career. I tell people when I was 14, I was in my parents' basement with 3 of my high school buddies, and I started my first exercise class. I had them doing jumping jacks and push-ups, and from there, I started working at, they had these all-women fitness centers. It was called Elaine Powers back in the day.
Yes.
Anybody remember Elaine Powers and Living Well Lady? I was that little black girl on the stage doing aerobics back in the day. And I did it through nursing school. That was my side job. So I love that. And I'm thinking about some of the things you said is everywhere I go, I'm connected to the movement because I've been personal training, competing as a bodybuilder. But as you as life matures you, I say, as you get chronologically more advanced in life, you can't do, I do want to do, but doing the things you used to do, sometimes there's some barriers to that. So you have to, and you said it best here, change your relationship with exercise. It doesn't have to always be 90 minutes in the gym. I thing we used to say is leave it in the gym or walk out of the gym with nothing left. You don't want to do that as you get more mature in life. It actually works in reverse for you. So rethinking movement. And that came up a lot as a theme during the pandemic when many of us were working remote or working in different ways. And I remember this stood out to me one day because we were working from home for a little while. And I wear this little Apple Watch. And this is just a metric, to help me understand potential calorie expenditure. And I remember noticing that I wasn't getting the calorie expenditure that I did when I went to work, even though I was working out every day. It was about a 500 calorie difference. So me not getting up, getting dressed, driving to work, parking in the parking lot, walking into the building, walking up to the 4th floor, walking into my office, engaging with my colleagues throughout the day, going in their office, chatting. And if my boss is on here, not that much, but engaging with my colleagues. And then coming home was burning 300 to 500 calories a day. Okay, so I wasn't getting that calorie expenditure. Add that up for 5 days. What do you have? 2,500 calories? If this was true, the calculation. Add that up for 7 days, and you got a pound, right? 3,500 calories, almost a pound. Do that for 52 weeks. Okay, and that's where that 30 pounds came from, out of nowhere. Just not moving. And we did a lot of talking to people during webinars, encouraging them to move, just like Kara was saying. Get up and do your own housework. Just get up and stand up sometimes, move your hips, wiggle a bit, because it helps increase your blood circulation. All those things that we just heard excellent information. We have to get you back. We have to get you here in Michigan.
All right, I'm
Yeah.
coming.